All right, 49er faithful, we got the breaking news right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. This just broke a little while ago. 49ers are adding former head coach Gus Bradley to their coaching staff in 2025. A lot of people may not remember who Gus Bradley is, but Gus Bradley, former head coach, he's been with the Seattle Seahawks, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Indianapolis Colts as of recently. And I actually like this. Remember going back saying, hey, who do you want as defensive coordinator? I was like, well, it's got to be Saleh, but if not, I want Gus Bradley to be the guy because he knows this defensive system. He knows the way it's built. I feel like he can run it. And you got to freaking think about the ties that Gus Bradley, Robert Saleh have together. Saleh worked under Gus Bradley back when he was with the Seahawks and the Jacksonville Jaguars when he was head coach. So this is really a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? He was the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks back from 2009 to 2012. He was head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars from 2013 to 2016, became the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers in 2017 all the way to 2020. He was the defensive coordinator of the the Raiders, in 2021, and then he was the defensive coordinator in Indianapolis from 2022 to 2024. Hence why I actually like this signing, because it seems like the San Francisco 49ers are focusing on defense this offseason. Kyle Shanahan wants none to do with the defense. He got his coach back as far as Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh brought in the special teams coach. There should be better in that. And now Robert Saleh is probably going to get a good guy in the room. Now, I'm expecting him to be probably, an assistant coach, just like Brandon Staley was last year. You know what I'm saying? That's just my theory, my thoughts on it. Assistant coach for him. But the good news is you got a guy in here that is familiar with the system, that's familiar with the coaching on the defensive side, won't just be a fly in the room, definitely will have some good insight. Because remember, Robert Saleh back in Seattle and back in Jacksonville was under Gus Bradley. So this is a great hiring. I feel like the San Francisco 49ers are just going to focus and allow these guys to tee off on the defense, which means I truly think that the defense, this draft, is going to be heavily based on the defense. What's going on, Boats? Shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew members out there. This is just a breaking news show, but I definitely wanted to show you guys some love. I see all the hashtags in the building, man. I appreciate you guys. 1,000%. X-Man2 says, I'm liking the moves. What's good to you, my guy? Jax Knox is in the building, says, let's freaking go. You already know. Shout out to Jax. She's gifting memberships to the Breezy Bunch, man. Go ahead and definitely let Jax know you thank her for the memberships that she's giving out. I see about 2 of them coming in right now as we speak. All right, I see some questions out there. I'll try to get to a couple of questions or not. Definitely, if you're a membership, your questions take priority. If you're not a member, I'll try to get to it for sure. I see 805 Black Bear says, is Gus Bradley a backup plan for when Saleh gets hired as a head coach? I don't think so. That's a good question, but I don't think he's going to be a backup plan. I actually think he's in the plans just to keep the structure going. I really think they're going to be grooming KJ Wright to be the defensive coordinator moving forward. I really, truly think that KJ Wright, the defensive quality control coach for the San Francisco 49ers, is going to be groomed to be, in my opinion, the defensive coordinator moving forward. That's just my opinion. Shout out. Appreciate you for the question. Vince says, coaching staff just keeps getting better. Huge revamp except for Kyle. Well, this is all Kyle Shanahan, right? Like, you can't, we might think that Kyle Shanahan is, he's, I hate to say this, but not winning and not being able to compete in the postseason might have just been the best thing for the San Francisco 49ers. It seems like Kyle Shanahan is really getting a crack on what he needs to do to build his coaching staff. And you got to remember, man, every single year, Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff gets plugged. Every single year. So We don't know what Kyle's going to do offensively, but I really do think that this might not be. I don't think this is going to be insurance. Everybody thinks that Gus Bradley is going to be the insurance. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt that Gus Bradley will be insurance. If anything, Gus Bradley might come in and he might end up leaving next year. But what I do think is they're going to really put my man KJ Wright under the realms. I really think he ends up becoming the next defensive coordinator. If so, but I think that Saleh's going to be for at least 2 seasons. Peachy Brown in the building. This offense is going to be a whole lot better since Kyle can now focus strictly on that. I mean, you can't say that any freaking better. I mean, you've seen Kyle Shanahan on the sideline yelling at defensive coordinator, yelling at this, yelling at that. It just seems like he's been investing too much of his time, in my opinion, on the defense. So you're right. This is going to be Kyle can now officially focus on his offense, get his offense right, and all that good stuff. Like, get his offense right, PG. Spot on, spot the freak on. Jack says our defense can get back to being number one. Yes. Now, got to get the personnel in there. Free agency is going to be crazy. I can tell you right now, expect some key pieces, key free agents to be added to this staff. Got to look at these teams. Got to go to the Colts. We weren't thinking of the Colts. Got to go to the Colts. This won't be a long show. I'm going to be doing that. The Super Bowl Madden simulation today, shortly right after this. Got to go to the Colts. Got to look at the free agents on the Colts. So I'm you know what? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and check and see who's on the free agent list for the Colts. And people are like, well, why the Colts? Well, Gus Bradley was the former defensive coordinator of the Colts. Remember, I said I wanted him to be the defensive coordinator of this team. People were like, oh, he's too old. I'm like, nah, he's perfect. He's perfect. So just looking at the Colts, man, free agent wise, defensively, they got some players there. Could DeForest Buckner be on his way back to the San Francisco 49ers? Something to think about. Just something to think about. I'm not putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there in the atmosphere. It's a possibility that can happen. How cool would that reunion be? All right, Indianapolis Colts free agents is what I'm looking for as of right now. Free agents. All right, so let's see. Defensively, let's focus on the defense. All right, defensively, they got a safety that I like. Weren't the 49ers interested in Julian Blackmon at one point? They got Julian Blackmon, all right? I'm just thinking of some guys you could probably pluck off their roster. Julian Blackmon, David Long, cornerback. I remember him. Not too many defensive players still on their market. But there could be a trade going on. I don't know. There could be a trade going on. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens 1,000% out there. I definitely love the hiring. Thumbs up if you love this hiring. Thumbs down if you feel like you're scratching your head because you don't understand what's going on. But that's what I'm here for. I see Jack says Dre Greenlaw ain't going nowhere. Let's hope not. I'm hoping the contract that they offer him is substantial for him to stay at least one more year. It's going to be probably one of those 1 year prove it type deals for Dre Greenlaw. They said bring Samuel Womack back. Let's just see what Samuel Womack, I think he's signed. He's not a free agent there. So you would have to trade for him back. I just feel like the Niners wouldn't do that. I like the Niners corners, and if anything, they can add a corner, but safeties is my thing because you're losing Hufanga, free agent. Would you try to replace him with a Julian Blackmon? I don't know. That's something to think about, right? Something to think about. Why am I struggling looking for these daggone corners? The freak. Defensive line, linebacker, outside linebacker. Maybe I'm just not seeing. Oh, no. There you go. Cornerbacks. All right. No free agent cornerbacks other than David Long. For them, I would have to check their team status. But it's possible. It's possible. Like I said, I can see them possibly trading. Which ties does Gus Bradley have with some of these players? Do they love playing under Gus Bradley? Will they want to take, whatever? I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely like what's going on. And again, the key piece to this is that Saleh and Gus Bradley have a connection. I think that's the key piece. Shout out to Tom Pelissero for breaking this, putting this news out there, the information out there for us to kind of like own in on. And for the San Francisco 49ers, they just keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And it just seems like their coaching staff is about to be too legit to quit. And I just feel like the defense was the weakest link. I know a lot of people felt like it was the offensive line. True, key pieces need to be fixed on the offensive line. We also had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. But I think defensively, like just the whole mindset of the defense. Think about it, though. Defensively, what couldn't we do? What was the worst thing about our defense last year? If you could pick one thing, let's do this and we'll end the show. Myles Garrett next. I like that. I like it. Load him up, baby. Load him up. If you could pick one thing about the defense, what would you say about this defense was the worst thing from last year? 49ers _ throwback Wayne. Gus Bradley is creative with blitzes. Does this mean yes? Well, I already knew Robert Saleh coming back was going to start dialing up some exotic things that we haven't really seen before. We're not talking about linebacker blitzing. Remember the nickel blitz we used to use when K'Wan Williams was here? Remember that? I really feel like we're going to start to see some different types of blitzing. And yes, Gus Bradley, that is his specialty. That's why I said he'll be an assistant coach. I believe that's going to be his title, right? I would love to see D'Angelo Hall be added to this roster next, because now you got a cornerback that can really zone in on some of these young fellas out there. It'll be superb. And then, like I said, free agency. All right, so PG says tackle. That was the number one thing. They could not tackle. For some reason, they had like 8,474 billion missed tackles. And on top of that, they could not stop the run. I got a lot of stopping the runs out there, stopping the runs. I mean, even on catches that wide receivers caught passes, we would just miss tackles. So it was just bad. It was just bad. I think the whole mentality of the defense was shifted into a whole different atmosphere. And I'm so excited to see the defense get reshifted back to what we know as 49ers football. I guarantee you Fred Warner is happy. I guarantee you that those defensive players that have been under Saleh previously, that are still currently on this roster, are happy. I wouldn't be surprised if free agents like DJ Jones and players that played under Robert Saleh want to make their way back here, because that's when they gave us their best years. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of stuff. If you think that getting head coaches and assistant coaches and all that type of stuff has been freaking like amazing, I can't wait to free agency. The draft is one thing. The draft is going to happen. That's in April. Free agency starts in March. I can't wait to free agency. Truly can't. X-Man says, I think Saleh will draft pretty good and develop them like he did Fred, Dre, and Bosa. You already know. I'm with you on that 100%. I think under Saleh, players definitely developed. Shout out to my man Freddie Dunn over on Facebook. Is it realistic to add Myles Garrett? It is really realistic to add Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett wants to be traded. Now, this comes down to the Cleveland Browns. Will they trade him? So the Browns can say no. The Browns do not have to trade Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is not a free agent, but is it realistic? Teams are going to call the Browns. The Browns said they're not entertaining any offers. I think that's a bunch of bull. You know what I'm saying? Do I have the bull stuff? I used to have that sound effect. I think that's bull. I think they're
a bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's bull. They're going to entertain offers for sure. I think that, and the odds are the 49ers have the third best odds of getting a guy like Myles Garrett. So I actually like that. You know what I'm saying? I actually like that. And again, if you go back to my shows, like this was the guy, I think me and Mike and I, like on the BAM show, I was like, yo, Gus Bradley. If Robert Saleh isn't the guy, it's got to be Gus Bradley. And I'm glad that it's Gus Bradley. Because like 49ers _ throwback said, the defense won't look dull and it won't look boring. You're going to see blitzes. Now, you're going to see blitzing. You want to know what makes the Kansas City Chiefs great? The timing of the blitzes. It's the timing of the blitzes. You know what I'm saying? The timing of the blitzes. To me, that's what makes them great. It's not the fact that they're going to blitz. You know they're going to blitz. But like 49ers _ throwback is on a whole nother level. Like disguising the coverages, blitzing, timing of the blitz. Faisal, what's going on? Oh man, yeah. I love the most of getting Gus Bradley with Saleh. Like it's like a dope package, right? It's like a dope package, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Isn't Gus the guy who started the defense we run? Big man, Dion, where you been, bro? You on the money. You on the money. Absolutely. This is where Robert Saleh learned the defense, that wide nine scheme, all that good stuff. This is where he learned it, man. I was just saying that at the beginning of the show. Robert Saleh was under Gus Bradley back as a defensive coordinator when Gus Bradley was the defensive coordinator in Seattle. So think of those type of safeties. I'm telling you, y'all sleeping, man. Y'all sleeping right now. 49ers are about to get better defensively. I don't think that Talanoa Hufanga is going to be back. I don't think he fits the safety. You know where I'm going with this, right? I don't think that. I do. I that's how I feel. Thank you. I appreciate that. You can have the hat for sure. I don't think that. I don't. Joey says, bring in Richard Sherman, DB coach. It's got to be D'Angelo Hall. Richard Sherman doesn't want to coach. So as much as we would love this, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately. It's not going to happen. Unless Richard Sherman wants to come out and start making that TV money, I don't think it's going to happen. But, all I'm saying is I feel like Huff isn't going to fit the mold of the defense that we're going to be looking to play. We need the big safety, big 6'2", 6'3", single high safety with speed. Big. Just think of tall, slinky. Think Kyle Hamilton style. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Think that style. Think of and when you go back to Seattle, I know you got to go back to the Earl Thomases and the Cam Chancellors. I don't think they make safeties like that anymore, but think of a combo guy in that route. In my opinion, think of a combo guy in that route. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. We got 2 safeties currently here on the roster, but I just feel like Huff is going to be the odd man out with the shape and the shifting of the new defense, unless they feel like they can use Huff as that wild card piece, sort of kind of like the hybrid, the safety, the linebacker type of piece. Listen, I don't know, but I know we need a free safety. That to me, defensively, other than defensive tackle, we need a safety. We need a safety. So it's going to be very interesting to see Robert Saleh, Gus Bradley put their brains together, put their minds together, and really start to shape the new look of the 49ers defense. And I honestly don't think Robert Saleh is going anywhere at least for 2 years. I just feel like he's going to do Kyle Shanahan a solid. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's going to be you already know what that solid is going to be. You know what I'm saying? You already know. All right. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. All right. Please subscribe. You guys have been doing great. The subscribers are up. Shout out to you. Round of applause to everybody out there. I think the likes are up. Everything has been going up. And so I don't know why it's going up, but I appreciate you. So let's keep it going up. And let's go ahead and keep supporting the channel by becoming members of the Breezy Bunch crew. All right, do that. Michael Hurd says, I missed it. What's Gus Bradley's role? They didn't assign a role to him yet. My guess is he's going to be an assistant coach. And I think he's going to be an assistant coach on the defensive side. On the defensive side, all right? Oscar says, Nick, say this name with me, man. Iman Worry, right? Iman Worry. Big safety, South Carolina. We talking 6'3", lanky, range, speed, F to PFF grade. I've watched him on film. This kid gets around. He kind of give me Cam Chancellor vibes now that you think about it. I'm glad you brought this name up because that's the mold I feel like he fits. That's the mold I feel like he fits. I don't know. Let me know how you think about that comp, but that's the mold I feel like he fits. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Oscar, I love this kid. The question is, are you going to draft him in the second round? Because he's probably going to go on day 2 of the NFL draft, second or third round, in my opinion. Will the Niners invest? Now, with the draft coming up, as we continue to shape these coaches, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I like the Derwin James comparisons. I like that. I like the route. We all got 3 different comparisons. And I love it. That's what I love about football. That's what I love about football. Everybody has their own vision of what they see. Rod Woodson, if you guys remember who Rod Woodson is, one of the greatest DBs ever to play the game. Derwin James, one of the greatest DBs playing it right now. And then I compared him to a boom guy because he can hit. So that's what I see. I see big hitter You know what I'm saying? I see big nickel packages with Iman Worry out there, but maybe I'm wrong. Definitely love it. Does MG want to play for Gus Bradley? Great question. Does Myles Garrett, shout out to Boats, does he want to play for Gus Bradley? Great question. I don't see why not. Myles Garrett wants to play to compete for a championship. Mike and I did this on No Harm, No Foul, and we kind of went through the teams, remember? And we said, all right, on the teams, how many of those teams in the NFC? He's not going to go to the AFC. They're not going to trade him to the AFC. You can X the AFC off the list, right? Unless the Browns are just stupid dumb. It's possible, right? It's super possible, right? But I don't think they're that dumb. They're dumb, but they're not that dumb, right? Right? I don't think so. At least my opinion. I don't think so. Shout out to X-Man real quick, man, for becoming a member of the Breezy Bunch crew, man. Truly appreciate the love and the support out there. I don't think that is, that's something that they'll do. So you look at the NFC teams, and it could be the Lions. It's gonna be one of those top teams. Is it the Lions? Is it gonna be the Niners? Some people feel like it's gonna be the Cowboys because that's where he's from. I doubt he wants to go there. I just don't see the Cowboys winning anytime soon. You know what I mean? That's just me. I wanted to read this comment. It says, I saw Myles Garrett interview with Kay Adams. He is open to any defense, but he wants to stay with the 4-3. Well, who runs a 4-3 in the NFC? Can I leave that comment out there? Can I leave that? Collie says Browns are stupid, dumb. Yeah, they dumb. I don't think, we all have different opinions on this. I don't think they're dumb for the contract. I think they're dumb for the fully guaranteed part of the contract. But if he had panned out, it would have looked like a no-brainer type of contract. You know what I mean? Because the Browns are in, what are they, $68 million over the cap? It's going to be crazy. Tanisha, what's going on? Good morning, Breezy and the Breezy Bunch crew. Our defense is about to get back on track. I like that. Thank you, Tanisha, for that title. Back on track. That's what I like to do. It's going to be the title of one of my shows. I can feel it in my spirit. Hallelujah. Yes. I can feel it. And it just, it starts with the coaching. You know how I always say, we like to blame coaches for a lot of stuff, right? And we can't. And the first thing we blame coaches for, what was I watching? And I'll leave you with this. It was a college basketball coach. I can't remember the teams, but it was recent. It was like a day or two ago. And he was in the, at the end of the game, he was being interviewed or whatever. And, he said that he can't be the only person on the team with all the energy, with all the whatever, the players got to feed off of it. They got to give it back to him or whatever. And that made so much sense because when I think about it, the last few seasons, what's been missing on the sidelines? The energy. What's been missing from the coaching? The energy. Kyle's never been an energetic guy. He's been more of the studious type guy, right? He hires energy-based guys to feed into the types of players. Now, for me, I feel like we have those types of players. They feed off of energy. They feed off of the vibe. They feed off that. Well, Kyle just reshaped the San Francisco 49ers coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? He just literally reshaped them, in my opinion. Literally reshaped them. And so with that being said, I think that the San Francisco 49ers, at least from the coaching staff perspective, are back on track. I also think that the players' mindset, because it starts with their mindset. It starts with their mentality. And with their mentality, you got Robert Saleh at the helm of the defense. You got probably an assistant coach out of Gus Bradley, right, with the defense. I really, truly believe, they're going to bring in D'Angelo Hall. Not sure if he's going to be an assistant DB's. I think it's a title thing. They were supposed to interview him last week. I understand that we already have our defensive backs coach, but things can change. And don't sleep on KJ Wright. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I got to see him hands-on with defensive linemen. So if he was able to get into the defensive lineman, the national defensive line and the Senior Bowl was phenomenally better than the American defensive line. And it started with the coaching. So I'm saying that to say that don't freaking sleep on what the Niners are doing, even from a coaching perspective. And then it's going to trickle down because now these coaches can get the right players that fit their mindset, free agent wise and in the draft. And then we already know that they can coach them. We already know that they can coach them. Shout out to all the new members of the Breezy Bunch crew. I appreciate you. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for tuning into this quick breaking news. I'm going to be hopping back on within the next 10 minutes. I'm going to do the Super Bowl Madden simulation. Yes, I am. And I hope that the Chiefs get waxed. Love y'all. Stay up. Stay faithful. Keep it nitty gritty, baby. And we out this joint. Peace.